Hey everyone, welcome back to this Kubernetes series in the channel Pydjango-Tutorial. So in this final video, we are going to cover one of the most important concepts, volume and volume mounts. So far, we have worked with pods, deployment, services, Ingress, ConfigMaps, secrets, DaemonSets, and whatnot. But one question remains, what happens to your data when pod dies or restarts? That's where Kubernetes volumes comes in. So let's dive in. So by default, containers are ephemeral. That is, once container or pod deletes, all data inside it's lost as well. So imagine running a database inside a pod without storage. The moment pod restarts, all your data is gone. That's not good for your application. To solve this, Kubernetes provides volumes, which give access to persistent or shared storage somewhere in the cloud or somewhere within the pod or node itself. So volumes live as long as the pod lives, not tied to the single container. So container inside the pod can mount these and use these volumes through something called volume mounts. So there are different types of volume. For example, emptyDir. emptyDir is a temporary storage that lasts only as long as the pod runs. Then we have the hostPath. This is like this mounts a file or directory to the node's file system itself. And then we have PVC or persistent volume claim, by far the most used one. So this actually connects to the persistent storage. It can be EBS, it can be S3, it can be Azure storage or disk somewhere in the cloud so that you have persistent storage for your data. Then we can use ConfigMaps and secrets as volume as well, where we inject configs and secrets as a file rather than plain data. So for today's demo, or for sake of this playlist, we are going to use emptyDir as our volume. But if you're working in production environment, your best bet would be using persistent volume claims instead and having a persistent storage for your data. So this is the plain YAML file. And I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We are creating a pod, and this is where defining our volume mounts. So all we are saying is create a pod named volume demo. The container runs busybox and writes hello Kubernetes to a file named hello.txt, which you can see in the command here. Notice the volume mount section. It tells the container where to mount volume inside the file system. In this case, it's /data directory. And the volume section defines what kind of volume we are going to use. Here, it's an emptyDir. So I'm going to use this demo or this part file to use and create the volume instead. So I'm just going to do Control-C and Control-V. I already have the code. I'll share the code if you want. But this is essentially just writing commands and saying or writing hello Kubernetes to this hello.txt file using emptyDir volume within this path. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Let's copy the path and let me clear my terminal. Now I'll do kubectl apply -f and let me change the path. And this should be /mnt/c. Oops, path is wrong. And our pod is created. So if I do kubectl get pods, you see this volume demo pod is created. Now, if I exec into one of the pods, so kubectl exec -it volume demo -sh. Now I'm inside the pod. If I do ls, you see I have the data directory. So if I go to /data, I have my hello.txt file. So if I do cat hello.txt, you see I have hello Kubernetes inside this txt file. So if we add another container in the same pod, mounting the same volume, it can also access this file. Now again, in the real world application, you will not use emptyDir most probably. You need to rely on PVC. persistent volume claim, which in turn connects to the cloud storage. It can be AWS Elastic Block Storage, it can be Google Persistent Disk or Azure Disk. That way, even if the pod is deleted and recreated, your data survives. And that's it. You've learned about volumes and how they are mounted inside the pod using VolumeMounts. With this, we have completed our entire Kubernetes beginner series. If you found this helpful, check out full playlist from pods all the way to the volumes. And don't forget to subscribe Pydjango-Tutorial for more deep dives into Kubernetes, MLOps, and DevOps. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you in the next playlist or in the next video.